Hello there, welcome back to the channel. It was Richie here from Dowie After Dark. In my last video about Cathay, we spoke about how to play against them and what mine and Charlie's thoughts were. Today, I am going to be speaking to Tom Carley. You know him, you love him, and he has picked up the army and has been playing an ungodly amount of games with them. He's been getting 2 to 4 games a day, and I've been one of his punching bags. So I think between us, we can probably talk about how to play them. Hello, mate. How's it going?
All right, Rich. No, yeah, it's going well. In the land of the balloon, the land of Chaos Dwarves is long behind us, and yes, it is all steam ahead, Cathay.
I mean, I would probably say that Cathay has the rules that Chaos Dwarf should have had. And you can definitely see that from some of them, like the D6 damage on the artillery. And just crazy stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, but there is definitely some good stuff in that book.
Yeah, it's a very thin book that has got, there's not a lot of unit profiles in there, but there's a lot of depth in the way that you can build the army. There's lots and lots and lots of different ways that you can do things. And I've been having great fun with it. Like Richie said in the intro, I've been playing an ungodly amount of games. I think I just picked my 100th game with Cathay 2 days ago. And yeah, it's been fun. There's been a lot going on, though.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. So we've been... Well, I say the royal we. Basically, Tom has been trying every single different like loadout variant that he can try. He's been trying all the different variants of all the lists and stuff, and is basically settled on a certain type of list that he's going to be running at Home Nations next weekend, where England is taking on all of the other nations inside our little isles.
Yes.
And then hopefully going on to Worlds and potentially running the same army, but we will have to see how that goes. So yes, what were your initial thoughts on Cathay when it first came out? I will just stop right there before we actually talk about the rules or anything. The models are absolutely stunning. For everybody that's gone out and picked these up, these are some of the nicest models that Games Workshop has ever made. This isn't me being a Games Workshop fanboy. They're stunning. They're so nice.
And there's also lots of nice 3D prints out there as well, which I have on my store. I've got a Nippon army. So basically, the first thought I had as soon as I saw it, I tried to make a Nippon army in 6th edition using Empire rules. And Empire are rubbish in 6th edition. And I just couldn't gel with them. So the first thing I thought was, I get to use my Nippon army! Finally! Yay! The second thought was, hang on a tick, that's my Chaos Dwarf artillery. Which it just is. Like, the 2 artillery pieces are just straight up Chaos Dwarf units. But then, the more I look at it, I was like, hang on, there's a lot of things which I wanted to do with other armies, like an artillery line, like using a dragon, things like this, which felt that they didn't work well in the other armies or didn't gel that well. And yes, obviously, holy crap, look at that balloon. That was the third thought of, oh my days, really? 140 points? Yeah, 3, please, 3. So yeah, it's a wild army that's been a lot of fun. And I'm yet to find a truly, truly bad unit in the book as well, or a truly bad way to run things. Like there's no dwarf miners, Richie.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Dwarf Mine is the new meta going forward. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So when me and Charlie did the video last week now, we were given our opinions from playing into Tom. And there was some stuff that struck us as being a lot stronger than other bits. It's a decent book. There are definitely some stuff that is like catastrophically stronger than some other stuff in there.
Yeah, but the Jade Warriors are good. I mean, it's not a tax on the Jade Warriors. You can build your core so it's just Jade Lancers. The reason why a lot of people see that the Jade Warriors are a tax is because you need 3 units in your army that are non-characters and non-artillery. And one of the first things that a lot of people are throwing into their list is 3 cannons and 1,000 points of characters. And then they go, oh, and 1 unit of Jade Lancers. And it's like, that's not a legal list. So I've written a good many where it's just a 500-point brick of Jade Lancers. And that is a killer core unit. It's very good. But it requires a very specific army to use it.
And you've got to take the dragon for that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The dragon needs to be in there for that. And it's cool. Miao Ying is possibly the singular biggest tech piece I've ever tried to use. So I guess let's just start with her. That's the first big thing. She's great. 80% of the time she is a dragon, and that means that you need to just come to terms with the fact that your general is a level 2 wizard, who might occasionally, if they run into trouble, become a level 4 wizard. But that's the only time. That's it. Like, you start the thing, unless you're coming up against 3 cannons or more, you start her in dragon form. because if you start her in human form, you're 2.5 turns away from ever really using her as a dragon. And she's a very good dragon. She's an always strike first dragon that has got a level 2 wizard baked into it with some gnarly spells going on. She's got access to 4 spells, but can only cast 2. Which is still cool. But she's very, very difficult to use. If you've been pushing Chaos Dragons around for the last 18 months, this is going to be difficult for you. If you've been pushing Tomb King Dragons around for 18 months, you're going to be really well equipped to deal with her, because that base size being double the footprint, it's really hard. Really hard.
I would completely agree. Same as with the Vampire Counts Dragons as well. Like, they're so much harder to use. Interestingly, when I was on stream with the Mountain as well, we were just talking about it's going to take somebody a long time to figure out how to use it to her best capabilities. And I think you're going to have to dump just not 100 games, but potentially just absolutely loads of games into working out how to use her to her best potential. And also when to change, when's the best time to change, where would you position her to change, whether that be in front of a wood and then pop into a dragon form behind the wood and then go around, or try and do it behind an enemy. I think there's so much potential that needs to be unlocked. I mean, it's still so new. People haven't had enough games with her to be able to work it out. I know obviously yourself, you put a load of games in, but not necessarily with her. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun time, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put that many games in with her as well, because I saw the skill that was required to use her. And so for a bit of context, we've got Home Nations that's at the time of filming is 2 weeks away. And we've got Worlds that is about 12 weeks away, something like that, maybe 15 weeks. It's not long. I saw how good you needed to be to get every ounce of efficiency out of Miao Ying, and I just went, I don't have time. It's possible, but I think that is the first big thing that I want to talk about in terms of this book and competitive gaming, and I think it can be applied to anything, is understand who you are as a gamer. Understand your strengths and your weaknesses, and understand what it is you need to do to use those models. I knew, having not pushed dragons around for the last 18 months, I've not been playing flying-based armies, I was immediately having to learn a skill just in a dragon, and then it's on 100 by 150 mil base, and it's my wizard at the same time. There's a lot of layers of skill application going on there. So I looked at it and I went, it's not probably worth my time. Let's go for the things which I am more used to, artillery, cavalry, and shooting, and let's go that angle instead. So that is it's the noob approach, to use Call of Duty terminologies. I picked the noob tube over the sniper rifle. I did, and I will hold my hands up. I did.
Not jumping around 360 no scoping everybody.
No. That's the thing. The person who wins and comes first in a proper 40-man plus GT with Miao Ying, they have 360 no scoped you, because that was difficult what they just did. That was really hard, because she's expensive. She's 500 points or best part. So she's very hard to use.
She's expensive. She's vulnerable into shooting. If she can get into combat alongside another unit, then she's going to shred stuff, but she can't go into anything by herself. So yeah, she's definitely a difficult one to play with. So out of the other heroes, how did you find the Shugengens? So basically, when I was chatting to Charlie the other day, we just dunked the Shuggies. Yeah, we just basically skipped past them, because every time we played into them, they felt a little bit lackluster for what they were. Yeah. And by lackluster, it's the fact that you've got to invest so many points into them to try and get them to do something that a 150-point character in a different army could do. That's the biggest issue. If you want a combat one, you're sunken so many points into that. If you want the level 4 wizard and you want that wizard to be really good, you're going to go illusion. And then there's the little tactic that people are using now, which is just use illusion, drop columns in front of you, get up the board, and then jump out and then absolutely wreck face with doppelganger. My biggest issue with this is the points investment for that is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're talking the better part of 400-point characters to do it. 330, 400, somewhere in that realm. There is a very popular list making its way around at the moment. Obviously, we've not seen events going on, but people talking about what they're going to be bringing to them. It's been dubbed the double bonk, as I like to call it.
The double bonk!
The double bonk. You run 2 Shugengen. Hang on, I'm going to get this right. I've got the book in front of me, because I remember they're named backwards. Yeah, the one that you'd think would run your army, the general, he's the second one. So you run 2 Shugen Lords, One of them has got the ogre blade. One of them has got the monkey paw bonk staff. They're both on illusion, and they've both got learned feng shi bows, so spell familiars. And they're just going, let's roll doppelganger. Let's just be heroes. Let's roll doppelganger. Let's get some Law of Yin hexes on there to try and make our opponents worse. So they're not charging us, we're charging them. Because this is the thing, if you get caught out with this tactic, that one that you've got... So one of them is looking pretty sweet. He's got the ogre blade. Even if you charge him, it's pretty scary. Monkey paws strike last. So... it is the kind of thing where the monkey paw does curl, where if you do get caught out, and this thing is easy to catch people out because there's no 360 charge, it's on 100 by 60 mil base, you are done for, because you've got a 3-up, 5-up, you've got very little attacks coming back, you've got no stomps, so they're hard to use. I don't particularly enjoy the Shugen Lords. However, this is possibly the only case that I've personally come across across all of the Warhammer Armies books for the Old World, where I prefer the lower level character over the higher level character. It's never happened to me before, and I think that this has fallen down to 2, maybe 3 key reasons. First one is limited character roster. There is no other beta flying combat thing in the list other than Miao, Ying and Shugengens, and there is no other mage. So if you want a defensive caster, you've got 2 choices. You take a Shugengen, the Wizarding Hat. You're not running Miao Ying as a defensive caster. It's just, that'd be dumb. You're not spending 500 points on that. So they're your 2 choices. Wizarding Hat, it's scary at the best of times. So let's look at a level 1 Shugengen. They're about 140 points. They're pretty tanky. 3-up, 5-up for that level of points isn't terrible. You can then be running them with a lot of anti-magic stuff, or you can just be running them as protectorate things. So battle magic's quite nice on them if you're running a shooting heavy list. Curse of Arrow Attraction makes those balloons into genuine Vietnam-era helicopters. If they've got Curse of Arrow Attraction on them, that's terrifying. Because those Iron Hail guns then that are rolling D3 hits, re-rolling ones to hit, they're very, very, very good at that stage. If you're coming up against undead with that and you've got spirit lanterns and you're re-rolling ones to wound on top of that, you're playing 40k at that point.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So we've had like a load of games where I've just been running like gyro spam into Tom, and it's basically sat there playing Fortunate Son as we are not playing the Old World, unfortunately, but or a proper bastardized version of it anyway.
We've had people just come into the chat and then see what we're playing and then leave immediately. They're just like, "No, that's Battlefield Gothic. What are you doing?" Like,
get the broadside.
Yeah, 1000%. I actually really enjoy our game against each other because it's just the most discreet, distilled tier of jank in Warhammer at the moment. You know, it's messed. But yeah, so the Shugen Lords, I don't like the Lord. I do like the General. I don't like the Longma. When the day comes that I can take one of these boys on foot or on a horse, and there's precedent for that because you got to remember that it's a convoluted ass system to how Cathay even came about. G-Dub writes an army book, gives it to Creative Assembly, who then turn it into a faction. So that means that everything Creative Assembly has got has come from an army book. And Shugengens can be on foot, on a horse, or on a Longma in that game. So it will come. It's a matter of time. G-Dub will use every excuse they can to sell you those extra pieces of plastic, especially if they're heroes, so they can charge you £35 for a new double box. It will come, and they'll be incredible when they can join units. Or if we ever get the Longma Riders that are also in Total War, if these guys could join, you know how you have the Bretonnian Pegasi at the different levels? If we had a Longma at different levels as well, and these could join any form of unit, I'd love them to death. As they stand, aggressively average, and they're used to fill a void.
Yeah, exactly. You can definitely use them. I know there have been a lot of people doing the maths, trying to prove all of the naysayers wrong, like all over the Discords and stuff, but we have tested a lot of games into them, and averagely, they don't perform as well as other comparable units and comparable heroes in other armies, just for the points anyway. As soon as you can get one on foot or on horse, yeah, 100% down. If you can get a level 4 on foot, that's going to really just bring a massive buff to the army, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, the analog that's made it kind of a bit easier to look at is they are nearly the same as an Orc Shaman on Wyvern. They're not far away. If you look at them, because an Orc Shaman's still a fighty character, or a Bray Shaman on Chariot, I see them in that realm. They aren't melee characters at all.
No. I think without illusion, they're not a fighty character either, to be perfectly honest. Like, we've had a few tests, and just one of them coming in and not even being able to, I think you did like 3 wounds to some dwarves. Like, it's just not what you would expect from a beat stick hero that you're trying to throw at the enemy. Like, even 2 of them together just wouldn't be able to deal with an infantry block in this edition. I think a lot of people are potentially looking at these characters from a old world version 1 standpoint, where in 1.5 these are going to go into a unit and the unit's going to kill them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And also as well, now I will eat my words if I'm wrong. You can hold me to this, Richie. Guys, can we just chill out on Doppelganger just for a little bit? just for a bit. We did this a year ago. It doesn't work. Let's just chill out. If I'm wrong, I will be gracious and I will say I'm wrong and I'll start running illusion casters. But I don't think I'm wrong.
Just let everyone play with their toys, man. It'd be when they come up against everyone that's got MR2 and MR3 everywhere, and then playing against some dwarves with a Rune of Calm, and just suddenly you can't get anything off. But you can try. I mean, in a competitive setting, so if you're playing 5 games, you will actually be able to get that off into a few. I saw it work a few times with Tomb Kings. Like, it definitely works with Tomb Kings. So yeah, it might be able to work with these as well. But like I said, yet to be impressed with it. But if anybody out there proves us wrong, I'm happy to hear about it.
1,000%. Tell me in the comments if you've done it as well. Because obviously there's not been that many events. If you've even just had friendly games where you've consistently, not once does not count. You have to have done this at least 2 or 3 times. And if it's working, let me know. And I will, next time I'm on the channel, I'll say to Richie that commenter XYZ said, look, it works. So I'll try it out. I will fully shout you out on that. But yeah,
make Tom eat his words, everybody. So we have spoken about something that we both think is a little bit mediocre, and now I think we should talk about something that we both think is very, very good in the army. The Magistrates.
Yeah. So the first thing that I've noticed, a lot of people have missed something straight away. They've got a special rule on the page before that loads of people skip out on because this thing has so many special rules. They get Harmony of Stone and Steel, which so many skip out on. You can re-roll leadership tests when running down a foe, when attempting to redirect a charge, or when making a restrain check. This is huge in an army where you're running a boatload of cav. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. You can also, because of the Grand Strategist ability, give pretty much everyone in your army hit and run. This is massive as well, because the Jade Lancers are really, they're pretty good shot cav, but they're not hanging around. And me and Richie have found out the fatal flaw of Cathay in the last few weeks, and it's drawing combat. You draw combat against Cathay, and the army just goes, what? My book doesn't mention the word draw anywhere. What are you talking about? Draw. It's just win or lose. I don't have draw. The special rule doesn't cover that.
It's great. The funniest tactic that you can ever get against Cathay is just forcing draws in combat. That's what you need. If you can force a draw in a combat with a balloon, it's stuck there. It can't do anything. It can't disengage, and then it's just not going to be able to shoot you in the next turn. Same with the cavalry. The cavalry aren't going to be able to just use all of their lance spears on you again in the next turn, so they're just stuck there as well. I will say, though, that if you haven't played into the Jade Lancers, they are actually weirdly a lot more durable than they think they're going to be. Because obviously they kind of feel like they're going to be like cavalry because you can give them ambush and all that kind of stuff, so they're jumping behind you. They are quite heavy. I'm quite glad they're not AP2 though. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to get them to a point where they're going to be at a damaging strength level or a damaging AP level, and I think that's probably why we don't see the Shugengans on horses right now. Is because if you had access to some of those combat laws and you're inside a unit, imagine having a brick of these or ethereal with high magic.
Yeah, rough.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So I understand why we've not got it right now. But I think, going back to the balloons just very quickly, you can't go wrong with them. There is no incorrect loadout. There's no incorrect magic items to take on them. You can literally put anything on this. I was playing a game the other day where I had a few extra points knocking around, and I've been coming into a lot of ethereal recently. So, and like we just covered, draws are the fatal flaw. So you pop a Cairn Wraith in front of it. He goes, no, I won't use my great weapon. I'll use my hand weapon. Oh, I don't wound you. Oh. And then we sit here forever. So then I thought, well, a lot of these undead things have got Killing Blow knocking around and stuff like that. And there's a magic weapon in here that can just make you discard the hit roll. So I'll put that on my balloon. If you Killing Blow me on the wound and I roll a 4 up, I don't know, okay, I'm not getting Killing Blow, but I've just negated one of your wounds entirely. So that's what I mean. Even the weird shit that looks like it's not supposed to go on them, it still works. There's only one item that you can't put on this, 2 items that you can't put on this thing. One of them's a shield, which is fair enough. And one of them's an armor that gives them fly. They're on a fucking balloon. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good. I will say, for those people out there, and this is just going to be a shameless me moment here, so bear with us, Rich. Make models that are pretty, and your friends will hate you less. This is what I'm using as my balloon. I'm using dragon turtles. And people will hate you a lot less. Also,
It's a lie.
They don't cost £100 either. So yeah, that one's got Goku on it. It's sick. But yeah, they're really fun. And that's another thing with this army. Yes, they're brand new models. Yes, they're really pretty. You've got so much scope to do some really cool shit with this army. I've seen someone doing a Grand Araby-based army. So instead of a Shugengan, they've got flying carpets. Instead of the balloon, the guy's using a giant elephant. Okay, it doesn't fly, but it's still sick. There's so many really cool things you can do with this army that isn't just Cathay, because they've given us options that you don't normally see together with cannons and monsters and dragons and infantry and cavalry all together. I've seen a dwarf one happening. Like, there's all sorts of stuff.
Heresy! That's a great idea.
You know the Magma Dross from Age of Sigmar?
Yeah.
Miao Ying, which is sick. Like, I love that idea. It's really cool. So, yeah, get converting. It's good fun.
To be fair, I have also seen from over in Italy, he is using the Age of Sigmar Caradron Overlords, the big boats. So using those as the balloons, which is pretty sick, actually. That's quite a good idea.
Yeah, I would say for everyone as well, just as a heads up, if you're considering going into a balloon thing, firstly, don't play it at club level. Just don't. You might remember me talking about the Skinwolves brick, which I got banned. Hey. Don't be a dick to your club mates. Don't bring 3 balloons, or if you do, let them know first. Even at a tournament level, I think you should really question yourself taking more than 3, even if you're allowed to.
So I've played a terrible amount of games into Cathay now, and it's a hard game. Don't get me wrong. We all play absolute jank in our little social circle. Like, we play some horrendous armies. Like, we all play as hard as we can, basically, as well. It's a difficult game. It is a very difficult game. I wouldn't say any more difficult than Vampire Counts. I wouldn't say any more difficult than Tomb Kings. For me personally, it kind of feels on the same kind of level as them, I think. That is a finely tuned version of the list, and that isn't 6 balloon spam. That isn't 8 balloon spam. You're better off using less anyway, and people will like you more. And you don't have to drop 600, 800 quid if you're buying from Games Workshop as well. So I will put that out there now. The more balloon list isn't just because it's really good. It doesn't mean that you have to go out there and get more. You're better off just putting your points into less of them and making those ones better, in my opinion. I also would kind of warn against buying too many of them, because I genuinely think a lot of TOs are going to be thinking about dropping the amount that you can actually take into tournaments just to make the games more enjoyable. Just because people don't want to play against that. Like, I've had comps happen to my gyro list. Like, I can't take as many gyros as I want, and I can definitely see this coming forward for the balloons as well. Like, in Worlds, we just got the comp for the WTC in Germany in September, and you can only take 2. So 2 is the max number that you can take to there. I can see most events in the UK and in the US probably comping it to 3 instead of 2. But just everybody keep that in mind before you go and spunk 600 to 800 pounds on balloons, just in case. All right.
Yeah, buy 2, build them, paint them, get them looking the mutts nuts. If they've not been comped by the time you've painted 2, buy the 3rd. Don't buy 3 right now. Definitely don't buy 6 right now. Definitely don't buy 6. I mean, I've printed 6, and I'm looking at 3 unpainted ones, and I'm just like, that's extra, isn't it? Even if I'm allowed it, I don't want it now. Just as a quick aside as well, I'm very, very sorry to anyone's asking, can they see my list right now? That is under wraps. Richie's effectively got me on an NDA on giving out lists until Mel goes live. So late August, something like that. I can show you everything I've been doing for the last few months. That'll be when the lists go live for Mel. So it's not that long to wait. But I can totally give you guys advice on your lists. And I'm in Richie's Discord all the time. But I can't show you mine. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's fine. If you do want to know anything about Cathay, please join the Discord. There is a link in the posts. So if you want to join the Discord, just go over to the posts, have a look through, and there'll be a Discord invite over there. What we can tell you, so this is just going to be a little snippet, he is only running 2 balloons because that's all we're allowed. But yeah, so he is doing really, really well with that. That is consistently doing well into other kind of problem. I mean, we're all running problem lists, but it's I'll admit that that's absolutely fine. I don't mind, but it's consistently doing well or drawing or only just losing into those, which for me makes it a very good army. Don't get me wrong, there are a few little kind of rough bits for me. Like I said earlier, I'm not a massive fan of the Jade Warriors. I think they need some more units to come out and potentially some different heroes to be able to buff them. I think once we get the level 4 on foot, I think they'll see a lot more play. Now, I do want to talk quickly about the Jade Lancers because I love these. The fact that they can ambush as well means you've got a little bit of late game threat. And also nowadays when we've got the objectives, so they can try and ambush on, grab objectives in the midfield, and also go after those baggage trains. And it's a really easy way to get domination as well. So if you're looking at this from a match play guide point of view, these are some of the best units in the Cathay book for scoring objectives. It's just easy points. If you're playing against something that's, say if you're playing against a Death Star build and they're sat on one objective or going to try and potentially push up onto a second one and keep a little unit on the back, you go in, you take that back unit, you score the points for that, and then you just start building and building and building points. So if anybody hasn't been thinking about running them in ambush, definitely think about doing that now. Plus, you can put some nice little fun artifacts on them as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're micro heroes, all of them. And this is, I think, one of the most genius points. A lot of people have complained about this. So what I'm talking about is your unit champions can take 50 points of magic items, which is almost unheard of for non-rare unit champions. Normally, you'd only ever see that in rare, occasionally special. But I understand why they've done it. Because the gate masters and gatekeepers, which are your melee, just normal dude characters, there's no point to take them. And if you wanted to take magic items, you're talking about a 40 to 50 point tax just to take an item. And that would feel bad, and it would mean that you would never really see half of the items in the list get in play because you just wouldn't take it. These guys are brilliant caddies for your basic items, your Ruby Rings of Ruin, your Swords of Might, they're really good at carrying, Charm Shields on everyone, Obsidian Lodestones, you can pop 2 of them on one of these guys and he's still got 10 points spare. Spell Eater Axe is another great one. 35 points for AP1 and MR2. Yes, fantastic. And the guy behind me can still hit because I've got Cathay Lancers. So I'm still generating value out of this. Like Richie said, Ambush is fantastic, and that synergizes with the balloons, giving you the +1, -1 on the roll. I've ran it quite a few times. It's 0 to 1 unit per 1,000 can have ambushes. So if you have got 500 points worth of Jade Lancers in your core, all with ambush, leave them off the board till turn 5. You don't need to. If you're not playing Strat 3, if you're not playing anything where you need to sequentially score, if it's domination or baggage train, bring those boys on right at the end of the game. The rest of your stuff is either quick enough or hard enough that it doesn't matter. That you can, and I've played many, many, many games where I went, oh, fuck, it's turn 6. I forgot to roll my Jade Lancers. Well, you just didn't need them. You just don't need them at all. That might be a sign the book's slightly overcooked. Maybe. That you don't need your core whatsoever, but it's also nice just to be able to say, I'm going to leave them over there.
Yeah, like I don't think it's potentially overcooked. I just think that there's so much rule soup on a couple of different of the units that it just kind of makes up for it. I think. How many points are the unit of 10 lances?
No, it's 160-ish for 5 to 6. When you get to 10, you're talking like 280, 290, that kind of level, which is not aggressive. Yeah. That's not a horrible amount of points. I like to keep them just under the cap. So whatever event you're going to, keep your brick of Jade Lancers a couple points away from that scoring cap, because they are the most likely unit for you to lose, because they're one of the only ones in your army that's going to be consistently going into combat. And combat is the most dangerous place for you to be in a Cathay army. Normally it's the safest place to be, but it's the worst place for you to be because you can't give help there. Your army doesn't do very well at multiple combat angles because the speeds don't match up in your army. You've got Shugengans, you've got Jade Lancers, and you've got Sentinels, and then you've got Jade Warriors. And it's this really steep plane of speeds where nothing lines up properly. And then you've got balloons just going, fuck it, we don't care. Marching and shooting all over the place. And yeah. So that's my big thing about it. Go just quickly on the Jade Warriors. They can reroll ones to save if you don't get charged. Never charge that unit. Sit them on your back line. Love holding objectives. They're phenomenal at that. If you expect anything else out of them than holding the flag of you don't get to fly, nope.
Yeah, it's something you also need to consider as well with the banner of no fly. It's all about timing with that as well. You don't want to just drop it turn 1. Sometimes you want to drop it turn 3 just to be able to stop stuff from doing stuff. But it's going to take you a few games to be able to work that out. It's going to be working out the best position you want the opponent's flyers to be in to try and block them behind their like skirmishing units in front of them, or just try and like stop a charge for that turn. It's going to take you a few games to get used to that, but when you do get used to that, being able to stop that fly for one pivotal turn is very strong.
Jade Lancers don't leave home without drilled as well. Just don't. They cost 1 more point a model than what it says on that sheet there, because you never take them without drilled. They are too good. They're incredible. But yeah, can we talk about the Sentinel for a little bit? The Cathan Sentinel?
Yeah, happy.
I love this guy, and he's the main reason that I fell in love with the Shugengan General, because this is what allows you to take 3 of them. By taking a Shugengan General in your list, you have now unlocked the capabilities. Okay, if you're not taking Magistrates as well, so you're at leadership 8, take this guy as your general, or if you're taking the Lord, him as your general, you can take 1 Cathan Sentinel in special. Running 3 of these has proved to be an absolute powerhouse, because you have to play around with your meta to see what the Pokemon evolution, whatever you want to call it, what type of Sentinel you're taking. Do you want a Charizard? Do you want a Blastoise? I found that the Granite Sentinel is the best version for the all-rounder, which is the +1 armor save. So now he's rocking a 4-up save, and he's immune to multiple wounds X. What that means is you can generally just walk into the midboard. And this is based on you have at least 2 cannons as well, because now your cannons are turning off Swift Stride. You've got a banner that turns off Fly, and now the Terracotta Sentinel is on the same playing field as the Dragon is. And that Dragon, without Swift Stride, wants nothing to do with this Sentinel, especially if that Dragon's rocking something like an Ogre Blade, or if it's a Shugen Lord with Monkey Paw, or something like that, where it's a big multi-wound weapon. Ogre Kingdoms guys with the Tenderizer. You just walk one of these up in front of them and you go, how lucky are you feeling? Can you do all 6? I don't think you can do all 6. And people have said, oh, what about Stomps? They've got no AP to this guy, and they're going to be wounding him 80% of the time. It's 4s, and there's a couple of strength 7 outliers on 3s. But there's no AP, and he's got a 4-up save. I like those odds. The other one that I really enjoy is the Jade Sentinel. This one requires more finesse, because this is the one that gives you a bound level 3 spell of your choice from Elementalism or Battle. The ones that immediately jump out to you are the ward saves, and they are good. They are very good. But I found that these ones work best the Jade Sentinels work best in concert with other large targets. So Miao Ying's a really good one to use these with, where they can move up together. And the Jade Sentinel, you would pick that spell after you've rolled Miao Ying's, and you use the Jade one to fill in the gap there. So never pick his first. The Sentinel spells first. So you roll Miao Ying. Oh, I didn't get TMP. That's okay. The Jade Sentinel's got it now. And do it that way. And really use them as a gap filler. They love sitting behind large targets because, like I said, they're not very defensible. This thing has just got a 5-up save and that's it. So if you've not got a ward on it, it's scary. Throwing this thing around with Arcane Urgency makes people look at you like you're a bad person as well. When you can just move this thing 18 inches a turn. Like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. or even not 18 inches, and just using lumber to your advantage. So moving 9, pivoting, moving another 9 and pivoting, and suddenly you're in a space where, and this is where 3 come in handy if you do this with all 3, you have just set up a pincer move somehow with 3 non-flying monsters. And your opponent just goes, what? But they were in a line in front of me, and now 2 of them are behind me and 1's in front of me. What do I do? You go, concede? You're allowed to do that at any point. You know? Conceding action, you know.
I love the Sentinels, actually. I know everyone was like, they're a little bit weak, they're a little bit slow. I mean, I love the Granite one personally. I mean, just because that just messes with my game plan. Yeah. So like cannons can't multi-wound it. I've then got to try and wound it on 6s. It's got a 4-up save, which is quite decent. I know obviously against small arms fire, so against handguns, it's either going to be on a 5-up or a 6-up, but it's just trying to get through that. And the cannons can't do anything, so they're going to have to try and shoot something else. But then again, you've got the cannons smashing into you as well. And then with the Dwarf King, with the Rune of Smite, and it's exactly the same as the Ogre Blade, your big damage dealer can't hurt him.
You'd be terrified. If you were still running Royal Clans and you came up against a Jade Sentinel, not Jade Sentinel, Granite Sentinel, you'd be like, oh, I can't challenge you out. You're going to stand in front of me. You've got Killing Blow and D3 wounds. Yeah, I'm not going near you. Not going near you. Stay away. Thank you very much. You know, the best thing to do against this situation is, in a dwarf perspective, is sap her down and just, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, stuff about the sappers anyway. I will be doing a dwarf tactics video over the next week. I'm really sorry. I've been on holiday, so my schedules are just completely messed up. Games Workshop decided to release everything while I was away. So brilliant. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think as well, you're not going to want to just run one of these just walking around by itself. I do like the idea of the pincer, but I think probably the best way to use these would be walking 2 or 3 of them, basically as a unit, sending them all down and scaring the shit out of your opponent.
So one build that I haven't executed this one yet, I haven't put it to playtest. This one is still in the percolation stage, as I like to call it. This is as close as I can figure it to a pure Cathay and Rush army. And it tries to get every inch out of the Jade Lancers as possible, and I think that's why the Warpstone Sentinel was built. Just as a brief recap, what this does is anyone who's in base contact with the Warpstone Sentinel takes -1 toughness. So if you can get your Jade Lancers wounding things on 3s, on 2s, they get a lot better now. So you slam a Sentinel into a side of a unit, he drops their toughness by 1, a dragon, whatever. Throw in a load of Lancers into them who don't need to be that wide because they're fighting 2 ranks. And suddenly this toughness 6 dragon that's just been tagged is now only toughness 5. You can do stuff.
And also don't forget that you've cast Plague of Rust from that level 3 bound spell that you picked earlier for him as well. So suddenly those spears are AP3 as well. Like it's a good tactic. I think there's a lot of interlinking stuff. It's the same in a lot of armies. It's once you start finding stuff and you start getting the ball rolling, you can be like, right, that was made for that, obviously. And then right, okay, I need to pick this spell. That needs to go with that unit. And then as soon as you start to get that, then the synergies just start flying.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the ugly stepchild of the list very quickly, which is the Fire Aim Rocket Battery. It's not getting any love from anyone right now. There are purposes for this thing. Now, I've got a lot of love for this thing because it's just a Death Streak, a rocket launcher from Chaos Dwarves with better rules slapped over the top of it. This thing is good. Now, it's good for a number of reasons. The Ogre Loader on it, so if you go Ogre Loader Gunpowder Bombs, you're talking about 173-point artillery unit. However, that artillery unit cannot be charged by chaff because of the gunpowder bombs. It has to be charged by something in a respectful way. You run fire aim rocket batteries if you are coming up against crap loads of T3 lightly armored enemies. That's what this thing's great for, especially if they're low leadership. So if you're coming up against loads of Tomb Kings, this thing slaps. Like Royal Host lists, where I don't think you can do 180 skellies anymore, but however many you can do, throw those big templates down all day. You've got your Sky Lanterns, which you are definitely taking alongside these because they're giving them the line of sight. Also throwing down big templates with their Sky Lantern bombs. This is not finesse. This is breeze block through a window. This is just, I'm going to keep throwing pie plates at you until your army's gone. So there is a place for them, and if it's against goblins or mass Empire troops, stuff like that, you can do panic tests to them, as long as there's no captains in the Empire troops. But goblins, it works great on. Even just orcs. If you've just got a bunch of orcs that are just T4 lying around, this will cause a lot of pain to them, certainly. And D6 wounds pops. When it goes, it goes. And I can say, having run, I'd say for about the first 7-8 months, I was running Chaos Dwarves, and it's how I built myself up to getting high in the rankings, was looking Chaos Dragon players in the eye and going, I just rolled a 6 on damage. And it happens. It happens. And then the dragon falls over, and they go, what do you mean?
It definitely wouldn't happen if I was bloody rolling the dice. I just roll ones on D3 damage. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't be trusted with D6 damage. Like, I just wouldn't. It should be ones. Yeah. I much prefer 2 damage stuff. That's where my artillery should be, I think.
We'll talk about the D3 damage stuff. This is a really good transition over to the Grand Cannon. They're good. I don't need to tell you that they're good. Everyone knows that they are. Don't fall into the trap of spending all your goddamn points on these. 3 of them is 500 points. Okay? Let that sink in. Can you deal 500 points or negate 500 points of damage dealt to you with those 3 pieces? If yes, take them. If no, take 2. Taking 1, bit dumb. Don't really understand taking 1. If you're getting great mileage out of taking 1, you're not a dumb person. I don't see the cleverness in it. But I don't really see what 1 does. I see that you need to stack these things up. Also, I always find that 1 cannon by itself is a bit of a sunk cost fallacy. You're probably going to end up not getting a lot out of it. They're harder to deploy as well, whereas 2 pincers the board entirely and really gives you great coverage. Watch the 48-inch range. You can't corner camp like a pro with these guys. Empire will win that cannon fight. So just be careful. I don't need to tell you they're good, though. Like, they're good.
No, they are. But yeah, they're just so many rules with them. They're being able to fire twice for 1 turn. The ogre loader with them as well is absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. I do definitely feel that we need an FAQ for the ogre loader. I think there's a couple of unanswered questions that I want to know the bloody answers to anyway.
Yeah. JTY, if you're watching, just very quickly, what happens when the ogre gets touched in combat? Like, genuinely, what happens there? How many bombs do I get? And does the thing overlap the blast thing? Just those 3 things, if you could just let us know. And also,
there's another one for me as well. So if I kill all of the normal crew and the ogre's still alive, does the cannon die? Or does the ogre pop out as being a character? Or does everybody die? Yeah. There's just certain kind of discrepancies that I would just like to know the answer to. Obviously, you can comment down below what you think stuff is. The problem is there's so many different interpretations that you can take for these. There are no correct right answers at the moment. And yeah, it's a little bit annoying. So it'd just be nice to know the correct way to play it. Yeah. We've been playing it that basically the ogre loader just kind of stays and you've got to be able to kill the ogre loader. So we're just playing it in the worst possible scenario. So if it is that, then it is that. If it's not, then it's not.
Also, really sorry, Orc Bully, because you have had this issue since the day 1 release, but no one ever took you, so no one ever talked to care. So I'm sorry, Mr. Orc Bully. You had this problem from the get-go. You have all the same rules, but no one ever took you. So, yeah.
The weirdest thing for me is I have actually played against Orc Bullies before, but I just don't remember them even doing anything, so I don't know.
It's because whenever you touch one of them in combat, most people are like, I'll just lift that off then, shall I? Whereas with Cathay, it's like, no, man, that guy can make another one shoot twice. I'm keeping him around. Like,
yeah. I mean, considering they've already done like 3 or 4 wounds to you on bloody stand and shoot with those bloody grenades as well.
My new favourite phrase is, I stand and shoot with my cannon, and just watching my opponent process quickly. No, but you're not allowed to do that. You can't stand and shoot with a cannon. Oh, you fucker, you've got grenades, haven't you? And just watching that go through in a split second, oh, it's beauty. It keeps my soul fed.
Yeah, it makes you think twice about having to go in and deal with them as well. Like, normally I would just send a unit of scout gyrocopters over to go kill a cannon, where now I can't do that. I've got to think of different and cruel and unusual ways to get them, like popping out some miners behind them or sending a big unit of proper gyros at them, or just walking a massive unit of slayers at them because they care not.
Half the time you just shoot them off.
Yeah, enough 6s will do it, mate.
Yeah, you do. You can't roll 6s against the balloons at all, but against the cannon, you're like, turn 1, poof, that one's gone. So yeah,
Yeah.
how to beat Cathay, just roll sixes. So everyone who's not playing Cathay out there and is watching this video to maybe glean a bit of knowledge on how the fuck to beat them, they're not unbeatable at all. They're very, 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 very highly tuned in like one or two angles. If you remember from Football Manager back in the day, you had that diagram where it was like a line that was pulled in different directions depending on how good your dude was. This thing's pulled all towards shooting and staying in bricks. It suffers massively on the magic output side of things. So things like Ethereal ruin Cathay. Absolutely ruin them. You literally 4 spirit hosts can't be killed by half the army. It's so difficult to just actually deal with them. And you say, oh, combat res them out. No, they'll kill 3/4 of my shit that can combat res. Like, no, I'm just not doing that. One Banshee can hold up a balloon for the whole game. It's really hard. So then you're having to spend annoying points putting burning blades on balloons and stuff like that. So Ethereal, big problem. Magic, big, big, big problem. If you have an aggressively anti-magic list, an aggressive magic list, which doesn't trigger magic resistance, Cathay are boned. They just can't stop you. I'm talking about putting vortexes down and things like that. So going back to vampire counts, which I do believe are the natural enemy of Cathay, as much as this book tried to say it was Tomb Kings, it's vampire counts. Because if you can make my leadership fall through the floor, I can't stop that because of vortexes, and I've rolled rubbish on my dispels, which we don't get good bonuses, so we are rolling rubbish most of the time. You can kill our stuff very, very, very quickly. Yes, we've got some of the best shooting in the game, but it's all ballistic skill-based shooting. So if you can start layering up those minuses to hit and being clever and using your cover and your own units for blocking in certain ways, like if you put a large target in front of your unit that wants to be shot, the balloon is now currently shooting them at cover because it can't see through the large target. So it's just thinking about things in a more three-dimensional manner can really scupper them. If you let your opponent throw 2 balloons, 3 balloons, 6 balloons into your backline turn 1, you're going to lose. You have to learn how to play this game in a different way and understand that if you, to use a 40k terminology, if you let them control the tempo of the game, they will win. Rob the Honest Wargamer has done a bunch of videos, but from an Age of Sigmar point of view, talking about game tempo and how to maintain that. Cathay are the masters of setting their own game tempo, which I think is a very, very fluffy thing if you think about it. They're maintaining the flow of battle because they've been doing it so goddamn long. But they're not the best at it, other than shooting. Ballistic skill shooting, they are the goddamn best. They just are. Even if you took those guns off the balloons and put them into units, they'd be insane. But they suffer in lots of other ways. Their heavy cavalry is not that heavy. Their heavy infantry is not that heavy. Their heavy melee unit is not that heavy. Because even the Sentinels got piss number of attacks. If you roll 3 1s to hit, oh, okay, cool. Great monstrous killing blow, buddy. You didn't hit me. So there's a lot of ways to come at this. It is going to require you to rewrite your list. Mr. Chaos Dragon Man, bless you, Steve. That was such a rough game, buddy, and I still feel bad for it. But Steve he's on the team, and he had a list which I couldn't touch with any of my other armies, running triple Chaos Dragon. Turn 2, he had nothing left because he was playing it in the same manner that you come across with anything. Nowadays, he's pulled that right down, and it's a lot more even on the playing field. Tomb Kings as well. Originally, they were just letting me do damage to them because that's how big blocks of Tomb Kings used to do. Now they've altered how their list is. Now they're doing output to me back, which is something the Royal Host hasn't ever thought about before. So I'd love to tell you guys more detail, but obviously the people I've been playing against are in Team England, so I can't say this is how you do it, but know that the answers are there. And it didn't require a ridiculously long time for the people on our team to come up with those answers as well. I've had this book in my hands for 2 weeks? Something like that. And there's already 4 list archetypes I'm fucking terrified of. Like, really terrified of. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are.
So you don't use them against you.
I know you're listening.
Yeah, exactly. There's an interesting little bit of advice that I will give everybody at home, which I don't think will scupper Tom at all. you see that they're guns. You see them using the crane guns, or you see them using the multiple shot. What's it called? The iron shot, is it?
The iron hail guns, the D3.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so the iron hail guns. So you see them, and you're like, right, I need to rush these, because every other gun line in the army, you've got to rush. You've got to get in there as quickly as possible and try and deal as much damage. These guys are much better when you're close. Suddenly they're hitting you with grenades. Suddenly they're throwing their bombs off. So if you can deal damage at range, try to outrange them. If you are sending infantry up to go kill them, don't just send one unit, send 2 or 3. That's the only way that you're going to be able to do it. You can't just go unit for balloon or unit for unit. You want to send multiple, or if you're using a gunline army, so if you're playing Empire like a known list, or if you're playing like a dwarf kind of mixed arms detachment that's got like cannons and stuff, just try and stay back from it. Just deal some damage, let it come to you, and then counter punch into it. Don't just rush out into the midfield, because I personally think that the Cathay balloons, obviously I don't know about the like the loads of them, because I don't think that'll be allowed going forward, but the Cathay 2 and 3 balloons with all the support pieces, they are the masters of the mid board at the moment, in my opinion. But they do have some natural born enemies, the vampires, which are probably the best army in the game by far at the moment. So yeah, I mean, they can be beaten as well, everybody. So don't just go, right, I'm just going to put my balloon in front of your army, because you'll lose and you won't think they're very good.
So we mathed something out the other day, and this is one list I will give you, because if anyone does this, you're a hero. 600 nobblers. I can't do enough wounds. I can't do it. There is not enough wounds that I can do to it. It's like 4 bricks of 150 nobblers. I physically can't do enough damage to it. And they've each got like a hunter inside it or something. Someone messaged it to me the other day, and they were like, can you just quickly do the maths? Best case scenario, you hit everything, you get the big templates on everything, like you do it. And I'm like, no, I don't even score 25%. I can focus one or 2 units, but the thing is, they've got throwing weapons as well. So like
they'll get you.
They can actually do stuff back. So yeah, if someone wants to do 600 nobblers, hero, do it.
Right, is there anything else you want to talk about before we let everybody get on with their day?
Can I do a shameless plug?
Yeah, you crack on, mate.
So UK resin print. I've just picked up a new sculptor called Kaio Shineko Miniatures. It's a mouthful, but he does all sorts of Cathay and Nippon stuff. I've got all the Cathay stuff going in, and the Sky Lantern, as of recording, will be in next week. So yeah, come check us out, and you get Dowie After Dark codes for 15% off as well.
Yeah, so if you want those, there is a link down below in the description of the video, with also the codes that you can literally just copy and paste into his Etsy store as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a really fun journey playing into the Cathay, and looking forward to playing into them. Loads of events going forward. I can imagine we're going to be getting a lot more practice games in as well. So for everybody that hasn't played with your new Cathay army yet, it's very fun. You're going to very enjoy it. Oh, your shed door's opened.
Oh, it's all falling apart.
I'm not even going to blooper it. I don't care. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun going forward. And yeah, if you think that they are overpowered, it's not necessarily the fact that they are overpowered. It's just the fact that you haven't worked out how to beat them yet. There are definitely ways into it. They are definitely a strong army, though. So yeah, everybody's going to have fun working out ways to beat them. Thank you very much for coming on, Tom. It's been a pleasure as always.
Cheers for having me, mate. Balloons!
Rack and stone!